The Boston Marathon was 7 days ago from today, and I wanted to go over my race, how I felt, and what I did to run the time that I ran. First off, I ran in the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s. Now, the brand Saucony in general is underrated, at least to me. Everyone wears Adidas or Nike or the new Puma Nitro shoe. I'm not a big fan of those. I always wore the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s. Those are my first choice. I feel like they have more cushion than most of those other shoes do, but that's just me. And the next thing, it was perfect, ideal weather for the whole entire race. So we had the tailwind, which was like 5 to 10 miles an hour per hour, and then we had about 45-degree weather, which is like optimal for marathon racing. So that was like spot on. And then but that doesn't really do much though. The main thing is if you did your carb load right. So for my carb load, I woke up at 5 in the morning, made white rice. So I made about however 200 grams worth of carbs is of rice. So like 4 servings of rice or something like that. So, and then I had a LMNT packet, which is like one gram of salt and a few other things of electrolytes. And then that was at 6 a.m., 4 hours before the starting. And then 2 hours before I started, I had one banana, which is about 30 grams of carbs, with another LMNT packet, which is in about 8 ounces of water. And then 30 minutes before I started, I had one gel, which is about 24 grams of carbs. And then in total, before I even started my race at 10 in the morning, I had a total of 254 grams of carbs and 2 grams of sodium. But during the race, I had 6 gels in total. So at miles 3, 6, and 9, I had just a normal gel. The gels that I use is BPN Go Gels. And then I also took one caffeinated gel at miles 13, 17, and 21. Now, that was my first time experimenting with caffeinated gels, and I don't know if like those worked, but I didn't bonk, and I had my fastest miles were miles 21 through 26 at the finish. So maybe it was the caffeine, I don't know, but it worked for me. So props to that. Starting with the race, I qualified with a 2:38 a year and a half ago, but I knew I was going for a sub 2:30, so I knew I was a little bit behind in my corral, but honestly, it didn't matter because at the start line, after the pros go, they all kind of just mix you in before they shoot the gun off for you to start. So I kind of got lucky and I was able to find a group that was going sub 2:30 pace. So I stuck with them the whole entire race until the Newton Hills and the famous Heartbreak Hill. And to be honest, they weren't that bad as people say they were, but I say the hardest one was the first hill. The first hill was definitely the hardest one for me. The second one, you can tell it's there, but it's not as long or as steep as the first and the Heartbreak Hill. In the third hill, I didn't even notice. Like, I don't even think there is a third hill. Like, there's just 3 hills in total, not 4. I don't know. But the Heartbreak Hill, yeah, that was tough. That was one of my slowest miles. But after that downhill, after Heartbreak, I picked up pace after mile 21, and I was able to get my 5 fastest miles around like a 5:32, 5:33 pace per mile. And that's when I cut down my time to get my goal of sub 2:30, and my final result time was a 2:28:46, and that placed me in at 272nd place over 29,000 people. So I guess that's pretty good for a 21-year-old. I think so. Tell me what you think. And yeah, that's my race.